In this podcast episode, entrepreneur and author Alex Hormozi shares deep insights into the realities of entrepreneurship, the misunderstood role of AI in business, the importance of long-term thinking, and personal reflections on loss, motivation, and happiness. He emphasizes the necessity of clarity in decision-making, cultivating resilience during hardship, and building durable businesses rooted in genuine value rather than chasing the latest technological fads. Hormozi also touches on personal themes, including the impact of family, mental toughness, and the nuanced balance between ambition and well-being. Alex opens by recounting a deeply personal experience, launching a $106 million product shortly before his mother's unexpected death 4 weeks later. This period forced him to grapple with how to continue showing up amidst profound loss. He shares his self-directed coping mechanism of tweeting personal notes as a form of mental endurance, focusing on the idea that suffering is not necessarily a measure of love. Instead, he underscores rejecting the notion that grief must lead to destructive suffering and strengthens the idea of maintaining forward momentum by controlling what you can during life's darkest moments. A cornerstone of Alex's philosophy is that entrepreneurship fundamentally begins with overcoming fear of uncertainty, and failure. He stresses the importance of deciding whether you care more about your future or the opinions others hold about it. Entrepreneurs must be willing to shed the version of themselves that others expect. This mindset is critical to moving from paralysis to action, since the path will never be fully clear. Success comes through taking manageable steps, enduring discomfort, and understanding that emotional turmoil alone is not a sufficient reason to change course prematurely. Alex is a vocal advocate for technology, yet cautions against outsourcing critical thinking and decision-making to AI. He observes many entrepreneurs channeling resources into automating processes that are not bottlenecks or key drivers of growth, thereby misallocating capital and focus. Highlighting a case where a company's $350,000 attempting to replace virtual assistants with AI for a non-constraint task, he critiques the naive rush to AI Max, without verifying if it actually increases revenue or profit. He argues AI should be an enabler within a business, not a substitute for human judgment. The human capacity for risk-taking, responsibility, and making nuanced decisions remains indispensable. Hormozi elaborates that even as AI grows more sophisticated, it lacks the capacity for ownership and accountability. In a future where cognitive tasks might be automated, humans add value by bearing liability and making decisions with stakes attached, financial, reputational, or legal. He uses analogies from media and sports, such as the irreplaceability of authentic personalities in reality shows or F1 racing, illustrating that the human element and real stakes remain central. Judgment infused with responsibility ensures that AI remains a tool rather than the master. A recurring theme is the contrast between building rapidly to reach a small milestone and the patient groundwork required for sustained growth to $100 million or a durable company. Using the analogy of building towers with blocks, Alex explains how the foundation must be fundamentally different when you intend to build 100 floors versus one. The builder must account for stability, material quality, and time horizon. He advocates extending the time horizon mindset from short-term exits to building businesses that last decades, aligning with Elon Musk's examples of setting foundational infrastructure such as Tesla's charging network rather than quick fixes. Focus and patience are described as the enduring, anti-human, competitive advantages in entrepreneurship. Alex addresses a common barrier for entrepreneurs stuck between the $1 million and $10 million revenue mark: insufficient customer retention and poor pricing. He explains how many businesses mistakenly focus on acquiring new customers without ensuring existing ones stick around and keep paying. He contrasts companies that lose most customers and must constantly find new ones with those that create loyalty and stacking revenue over time, demonstrating that growth is easier when customers are retained. Regarding pricing, he dismisses subjective feelings of what I deserve and emphasizes that price must reflect what the customer is willing to pay. Undervaluing services leads to thin margins, capacity strains, and burnout, preventing effective hiring and scaling. Entrepreneurs often struggle with delegation due to ego and fear that no one can deliver as well as they do. Alex identifies this as a thirst for uniqueness and being needed, but frames it as a business problem rather than an emotional one. He debunks the myth of finding a unicorn employee who perfectly replicates the founder's skill set, encouraging instead a composite approach of multiple hires who bring different strengths. Raising hiring standards and maintaining clear quality metrics within teams is key to scaling the business beyond solo founder limitations. Hormozi stresses the simplicity of starting a business. Establishing an LLC, opening a bank account, setting up payment processing, and transacting with a stranger for money. This first sale redefines identity from entrepreneur wannabe to actual business owner. He critiques endless contemplation without action as procrastination disguised in conversation and highlights that fear of failure often stems from vague catastrophizing, not specific risks. Creating a detailed backup plan and limiting lifestyle expenses to extend runway are practical steps that supported his own early breakthrough. The conversation touches upon the evolving nature of content creation amid AI proliferation and social media saturation. Alex believes the moat in content today is reality, authenticity stemming from actual achievements and lived experience rather than manufactured or AI-generated material. Personal brands with real proof points and stakes maintain credibility, while commoditized tips and tricks without track records become indistinguishable and less valued. He stresses the rise in supply of content versus fixed attention demand, emphasizing that high credibility and real stakes not easily replicated by AI remain the pillars of valuable content. Alex explores the value equation in business and marketing, essentially the trade-offs between desired outcome, perceived likelihood of achieving it, time delay, and effort or sacrifice. Products or offers that reduce time to outcome and increase perceived likelihood command higher value. He advocates starting with premium, unscalable, high-value services to serve affluent clients first. This generates cash flow, refines the model, and anchors credibility, enabling later movement into scalable offers for broader audiences. Pricing must be seen as a reflection of value and skill. Charging too low signals insufficient expertise or demand. Effective decision-making is framed as understanding what you want to achieve and focusing on the immediate next steps visible to you, rather than demanding a full map of the future. Alex points out that entrepreneurship is filled with unanswerable questions: when to pivot versus persevere, how much risk to take, because life lacks guarantees. He advises pivoting only when core assumptions are invalidated, otherwise pushing forward with adaptive improvement based on feedback. Staying stuck in indecision is costly. Progress requires courage to commit and test hypotheses with agility. One of the most valuable skills Alex emphasizes is judgment, which requires disciplined self-awareness tuned through consistent feedback loops. He uses behaviorist principles and operant conditioning to explain how outcomes adjust our understanding of reality and improve decision-making. Success in sales or business hinges on making the desired behavior, buying, joining, the easiest and most rewarding option for customers or employees by aligning incentives properly. Copywriting, marketing, and employee management become exercises in incentive design rather than persuasion alone. Alex explains that scaling a service business requires consciously moving upmarket, targeting better clients with higher willingness and ability to pay. He cautions against attempting to serve all customers. Instead, specializing allows for simpler operations, better margins, and a scalable product or service approach. Using pricing research methods like the Van Westendorp price sensitivity meter, businesses can optimize pricing to maximize revenue and sales volume appropriately. Higher price often correlates with more sophisticated and profitable clients, and willingness to pay changes by customer segments. On the topic of happiness, Alex admits ambiguity about its meaning, but shares a profound engagement with life, motivated by fascination and accomplishment rather than the pursuit of happiness itself. He acknowledges the genetic component, signaling half of well-being is inherited, and discusses the variability of moods as natural cycles similar to weather, sunny and rainy days. His happiness is entwined with meaning and contribution rather than constant joy. He also differentiates pride as a soulful fulfillment rather than a simple emotion. Ultimately, he advises people not to seek happiness guarantees in entrepreneurship or wealth building, but focus on building meaningful output. Alex credits a major part of his success to his wife, Ela, describing her as a steady operator, believer, and the backbone during his lowest points. He articulates how a supportive partner who believes in your mission can amplify your resilience and ability to operate complex businesses. Reflection on trade-offs in relationships acknowledges that ideal support looks different for everyone, and figuring out what you want from your personal life is crucial to aligning efforts in business and well-being. Frequent contemplation of death shapes Alex's perspective, pushing him to value the present and live authentically rather than be overly concerned with external judgments. He contrasts the fleeting nature of life and relationships with the pursuit of legacy and meaningful contribution. His writings about mortality serve as reminders to himself about what matters, shifting focus towards activities and commitments that align with lasting impact and personal growth. During seasons of intense personal and professional difficulty, including legal battles and health crises in his family, Alex focused on controllables, continuing his work, maintaining fitness, and supporting others. He rejects prescribed mourning styles, advocating for individualized coping strategies that allow people to maintain their trajectory while processing grief. Mental toughness for Alex is not about being unaffected, but about adaptability, returning to baseline, and leveraging adversity to grow stronger over time. Looking ahead, Alex recommends entrepreneurs invest in building undeniable track records, reputations, and tangible proof of value to differentiate themselves in a future where advanced AI may commoditize many functions. Trust and brand credibility will become harder currencies to replicate. Personally, he is pondering what it means to be human and open to ideas like moving to a farm or simpler lifestyle, reflecting long-term thinking beyond just business success. Throughout the episode, Alex encourages pragmatism, rapid experimentation, and relentless focus on core business fundamentals: product-market fit, customer retention, pricing, and meaningful marketing. He repeatedly stresses starting small without perfectionism, learning through action, and scaling deliberately while maintaining high standards in talent and operations. His books and content aim to condense years of entrepreneurial knowledge into practical, actionable insights for founders at every level.